Tonight on News at 5, Utah leaders say it's time to rethink housing developments as new projects aim to make housing more attainable for families across the state. Plus, St. George shines a light on youth homelessness with a proclamation and a call to action from local advocates. And your daily weather forecast with highs, lows, and everything you need to know for the days ahead.
You're watching St. George News at 5, brought to you by our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law.
Utah housing leaders gathered in Washington City last week for the 4th annual Attainable Housing Symposium, where speakers urged communities to embrace change and support smaller, more affordable homes for local families. For more on how state and local leaders plan to address Utah's housing challenges and overcome resistance to growth, here's Nick Fiala.
The Washington County Housing Action Coalition held its 4th annual Attainable Housing Symposium in Washington City's Heritage Hall on Thursday. A major theme of the event was change. Several projects are underway to secure attainable housing for young families and other potential buyers in several local cities and throughout the state. The obstacle that state leaders are hoping to overcome is resistance to the inflow of new people in Utah. There is also a persistent fear that potential home buyers will lessen the value of neighborhoods rather than increase their value. One of the main speakers at the event was Stephen Waldrop, Senior Advisor for Housing Strategy and Innovation at Utah Governor Spencer Cox's office. Waldrop told St. George News that saying yes to attainable housing with solutions such as building smaller homes on smaller lot sizes is the best way to improve Utah's current situation as its population booms with new people.
Thanks, Nick. The St. George City Council recognized November as National Homeless Youth Awareness Month and highlighted the work of Youth Futures Utah in providing shelter and support to at-risk youth. Here's Maury Kessler for more on the organization's local impact and how the community can get involved.
The challenge with youth homelessness is it's not seen. You see the adults on the street, they've been there for a long time perhaps, and they stand out, but our kids don't stand out.
That's Heidi Rugg, State Programs Director for Youth Futures Utah, a nonprofit that helps unaccompanied and homeless youth across the state. Rugg says that unlike adults on the street, youth homelessness is often invisible, and this November, the city of St. George is shining a light on it, proclaiming the month as Youth Homelessness Awareness Month. Youth Futures operates shelters in Ogden, Cedar City, and St. George, offering beds, meals, and what Rugg calls wraparound services. This includes mental health care, job training, and education support to help young people find stability and safety.
These kids are resilient, they're amazing, and to create an unconditional and accepting space for them to come out of survival and come out of panic in all of those ways and be able to work forward. That's why I do it.
Next weekend, Youth Futures hosts its annual Sleep Out in St. George, inviting residents to spend one night outdoors and experience what it means to have no place to call home. For more information, visit youthfuturesutah.org.
In St. George, it's currently around 74 degrees, and tonight will cool down to about 45. Tomorrow, you'll see a high near 75 and a low around 48. Over in Mesquite, it's sunny and comfortable at about 77 degrees now. Tonight should drop to about 50 degrees, and tomorrow's high will hit approximately 79 with a low near 53. Up in Cedar City, it's cooler and currently about 62 degrees. Tonight's low will dip to near 38 degrees, and tomorrow we're looking at a high around 68 with an overnight low near 41.
Crimson Cliffs is the last Region 9 team standing in the 4A state football playoffs after a dominant 35-14 win over Stansbury on Friday night in the Washington Fields. The Mustangs relied on a powerful rushing attack, with junior Cade Shaw stepping up for 3 touchdowns after senior Van Daly was sidelined early. Crimson now advances to the semifinals to face Green Canyon next Friday at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Meanwhile, Hurricanes' playoff run came to an end with a 28-13 loss to Provo at home, wrapping up the Tigers' best postseason finish in more than over a decade. The undefeated Cedar Reds are heading to the 3A state championship after a hard-fought 23-16 win over Juab in Friday's semifinal at Southern Utah University. Cedar jumped ahead early with a 31-yard touchdown pass from Everett Kelling to Slade Parsons just before halftime, then extended their lead with 2 more Kelling rushing scores. Juab mounted a late comeback, but Cedar's defense held strong with the key goal line stops to seal the victory. The Reds remain perfect at 12-0 and will face Manti for the 3A state title next Saturday in Harriman. This is Aaron Crane reporting for St. George News, your number one source for local sports.
Community members gathered inside the new 8 Mile Hills water tank west of Cedar City to celebrate the near completion of the $6 million project, which will serve as a key water resource for Iron County. For a look inside the 4 million gallon structure and how it will support future needs, we'll go to Jeff Richards.
Dozens of people gathered inside a new 4 million gallon water tank at 8 Mile Hills west of Cedar City on Tuesday to celebrate the project as it nears completion. During construction, workers noticed the spacious tank's acoustical qualities, so they decided to fill the tank with music before it gets filled with water. Paul Monroe, general manager of the Central Iron County Water Conservancy District, spoke about the $6 million project.
Becoming a bridge or a location where we will pull water. We've got water rights in Basin 71, which is just over the hill here in the Escalante Valley. So does Cedar City. We can deliver water to this tank and send it to other locations. So it's becoming a great resource for the whole community, and it will continue to be for a long, long time.
Project Superintendent Kyle Barlow also spoke.
We've got 180-foot diameter inside to the walls. We're 24 feet tall. If water gets into the cracks, trying to get through, it reacts to the water and then heals the tank so that over time it just gets more waterproof. If there is anything seeping anywhere, it'll heal up over time and be even more waterproof and stronger over the years. So.
Officials say the tank should be ready to be filled up with water within the next couple of weeks.
A new dessert spot is bringing authentic Italian flavor to St. George with the opening of Gigi Gelati, a shop making small batch gelato in-house every day. For more on the shop and the story behind its sweet creations, here's Jessie Bang.
Gelato lovers rejoice. Gigi Gelati has just opened in St. George, serving up a taste of Italy in every scoop. From the cowboy cookie with homemade cookies and caramel to fruity favorites, each flavor is made fresh in-house. Derek Klein is the creative behind the concept, and he told St. George News anchor Monica McLaughlin all about it.
Gigi Gelati was created out of a passion and love for great experience, great hospitality, and amazing product. We make everything here in-house with the finest ingredients. We have some great options on the menu.
Born in Nice, France, and raised in Paris, Klein's longtime friend and business partner, Julian Raguzzi, tells us what he brings to the table.
My skills and I think knowledge like in food and ice cream and maybe the French touch.
Located in the new CP Plaza on Sunset Boulevard in St. George, the shop is now open and ready to serve.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. To learn more about our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law, go to wewininjurylaw.com. I'm Monica McLaughlin with St. George News, your number one source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5, brought to you by We Win Injury Law.